Hey guys, hope everyone's doing good this evening. I just want to take a moment here to kind of give a little update. Uh, I went out to the store today, just pick up a few things. I like to go out and browse around and stock up as I can on things and stuff like that. And one of the things I noticed that went to two different locations of Walmart. There's hardly any eggs on the shelf. I didn't see any bread. We don't call for snow in this area where I'm at, so not really sure what's going on with that. Then I like to actually stock up on preserves and things like that as well. It's just good to have until spring gets here. Then you kind of start canning your own stuff, but it doesn't hurt to have some stuff set back. And I'm noticing a lot of empty shelves. It's not something I've really seen a whole lot of issues with here in the past, but for whatever reason, I don't know if I just haven't heard about something in the news or what's going on, stuff like that. So one of the things in this channel that I'm trying to get across is, there's a lot of prepping videos, things like that, what to prep, what to buy, things like that stuff. But it could be a situation where you're not going to have that option because the availability of the food and stuff just doesn't seem like it's there here lately. So one of the questions I get asked by people I know and things, why did you decide to do quail instead of chickens? Well, I've recently started getting into chickens, but the reason I originally chose quail is because they have a quicker turnaround. Within 8 weeks, you can butcher them out. Within 10 weeks, they're typically laying. You can increase the flock size to 100 birds in no time. Within a month, you could have 100 birds. Depending on the size of your incubator, you could really knock out and really get to a sustainable level. And within just 2 or 3 months, you have plenty of eggs coming in, things like that. So like I went out today, collected eggs. I didn't see but like 2 cartons of eggs out at the store, which I don't really buy eggs anymore. But if it was a situation where you need them, how many eggs do you go through in a week or a month? Was them last 2 cartons, is that going to last one family? Depends on the side of the family. But you need to be focusing on sustainability. There's a lot of stuff going on, not just in our country, but around the world right now. Our Supreme Court just shot down these mandates and things that this administration has been trying to push, which are anti-constitutional. That's why they were shot down the way that they were. And it's the amount of the people in the populace that just does what they're told is just surprising to me. This country was founded because we didn't like being told what to do. We didn't like being taxed with out representation. Uh, this administration is going up on taxes and things. I don't know if you filed your taxes yet or not, things like that. They're really hitting the middle class. They want to bring everyone down. There's going to be two classes in this country. You're going to have the people that are well off, and then you're going to have the poor. They don't want a middle class. They don't want you sustainable. They don't want you being able to take care of your own self, take care of your own family. The way you are kept in servitude is by the need for money. You need to realize that. Is money a great tool? Sure. Uh, but just coming a day, there's a lot of states right now just within our own country, not even talking about the other countries that are out there right now, that it doesn't matter how much money you have unless you follow with what this pandemic thing is, and you go and you get your vaccinations and your booster shots and stuff, and that's not going away. The CDC has come out. They said this is going to be the new normal. Expect to have to receive at least one booster shot per year because COVID's here to stay. So you need to start thinking about, are you just going to do what you're told? Or are you going to do what you feel is best for you? Or are you going to stand upon whatever it is that you believe? And my recommendation to you is start now while you can. If you haven't started prepping, start now. It might just be setting back one can of vegetables or a can of fruit or a can of preserves or something. It might be just coming up and buying a 2x4 a week until you can build some kind of a pen where you can keep quail or chickens or any kind of livestock, things like that. Maybe it's a bag of soil so you can start keeping a garden. You can keep indoor gardens. You can have a small outdoor garden area. Most families are like, well, I don't want to be spending all my time in the garden. Well, that's fine. If you have kids, I know it's 2022, but I still believe that children should have chores that they require. And you can very easily give your child a 10-foot by 10-foot area of a garden where they need to keep it weeded. They can plant it, they can tend it, they can do what they need to do, and that's going to spread the workload out. It doesn't take long to do quail. It's not a very hard thing. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to it. You keep them healthy, you know, keep them fed, keep them watered. That's all there is to it. Raise your beds up off the ground. You're going to see all these really nice coops where people have this stuff sitting on the ground so they can free range. But what they're not telling you is they're having to constantly worm their birds. They're having high mortality rates because they're getting diseases that they don't know what it is. It's because they're on the ground. You know, raise them up, put them in a raised pen. You're not going to have that issue. If you're using hardware cloth instead of like chicken wire or some cheap stuff like that, you're not going to have the predators and things like that tearing into your pens as well. The same goes for chickens and stuff as well. But right now, you know, we're reaching a point. I don't know if people are noticing it. Maybe it's just me, but I take what I read in the Bible very literal. When Christ is telling us that toward the end there's going to be wars and rumors of wars, and we're being told that that which was right, that which was moral, that which was good is going to be called bad, and those things which are bad are going to be called good. The immoral, the sinful, that'll be celebrated. That's where we're at today in today's society. We no longer have a free society. I don't care what people think. You have some freedoms. They're being infringed on every moment of every day. You have Congress passing hundreds of laws a week. Think about that. These are not laws to protect you. These are laws to further enslave and to stop you from becoming sustainable. It could be a situation where you've gotten older. Maybe you don't have a lot of land to take care of, but you can have friends in the community. Maybe they have the property area, and you have some of the funds, and y'all can work together and build your own sustainable platform as far as, your foods, any kind of agriculture you're wanting, livestock, poultry, getting some flocks and things like that. Those are things that you need to be looking into right now. If you're not preparing now, you're going to have some serious issues very soon. If you go to the store and go down a toilet paper aisle, it's already starting to worse. It's getting emptied out. Well, how do you prepare for that? Well, for me, I went out and I just bought some bidet attachments that you put on your toilet. Hey, I grew up in America. It's not normal, but I tell you what, it's really not a bad thing to get used to. You're going to reduce the amount of paper you use. Basically, you're just drying your bum off when you're done, things like that. You're going to be cleaner. They say it's healthier for you. I don't know. But you need to start thinking of ways to pull yourself away from the required things that we were brought up on. That's going to the store just to buy some eggs. What if you need to go get them and they're not there? You go to get milk. I hate 1% milk. I was like, hey, I hardly ever eat cereal, but I was like, well, I'll grab some cereal. There wasn't a very big selection. When I went to get milk, they only had 1% milk, and there was only 1 gallon left. So I went ahead and picked it up. Now, I'll tell you what was on the shelf. All that stuff is like $6 for a half a gallon or a quart of, what do they call it, soy milk and almond milk and non-lactate milk and all those fancy fads that people are into. Well, they're not buying that because it's gone up through the roof, so they're buying the normal stuff that everyone else has been buying, and now there's not a lot of stuff going on. Ran into a woman in the aisle, and I made a comment to her about how it seems like they don't hardly ever have much in the stores anymore. And of course, she's blaming preppers, And is it our fault? Well, we're preparing for when there's not going to be anything on the shelves. Back when our supply lines were fine, there wasn't an issue for the rest of the public. They didn't prepare. We have been, and to keep our stores up, we continue along the lines of what we've always done. It's not a prepper's fault that you are not prepared. So think about that. You can get mad at other people for preparing, whatever. If you build in a flood zone, your neighbor builds his house up 10 foot in the air, you build yours right on the ground, a hurricane comes in and it floods your house out. Are you going to get mad at him because he prepared? Chances are most of you will. There's ways you can prepare. I don't like Spam. I don't like the flavor of it, but I buy Spam. Why? Because in a situation where you're hungry, it's not too bad of an option to have. It's got a lot of sodium and things like that. I try to buy rice, things with carbohydrates. Of course, the health nuts out there who really are not health nuts. They just like to sit and talk crap on social media. They're going to go through why it's not healthy because of the extra carbs or the extra whatever. Well, the fact is, if you're laying around sitting on your butt, you know, yeah, it's going to be real bad for you. If you're up active and you're moving around and you're working your land, and every day that goes by, it may not be a big progress, but every day you make it where it's just a little bit better than it was the day before, you're going to end up in a situation within a year, within a few months, depending on how much work you're doing, where it's going to greatly benefit you. So you need to be looking at what can you do around your own place. What can you do to, increase? If you're living in an apartment, try growing vegetables in a windowsill. Maybe you have a closet where you can put in one of them full spectrum LEDs and grow a few vegetables or something. Personally, I would be saying it's time to get out of the city. It's time to start looking at something out in the country. There's still land out there available. Different states don't buy them, and states where you have no self-defense laws. You want to move to states where you can, provide yourself with your own self-defense. You need to be in areas where you can maintain at least a small garden at the very least. I know everybody's financial situations are different, but it's time we wake up as a community. Unless you're the type of person that wants to be told what you can and can't do, you're the type of person that's going to dime out on your buddy because, hey man, I know where we can go get some food, let's go raid this guy. At which point you're going to be met with serious opposition from most preppers, because we're not just buying food, we're preparing for raiders. We're preparing for people that are going to come and try to take what we have stockpiled, what we have provided for our own families. And the worst thing you can do is to rob from a family. Now, if there's somebody out there who's starving and they need food for their kids, most of us would help them out in that situation. But what we're not going to do is let someone come in and sit back and just lay back and eat their preps up. That's not the way things work. You earn your keep or you keep on moving. So hope everyone has a great week.